I have something that I'll be reading here too, and it's going to shock some of you. Others you'll understand. I acquainted several people with this announcement, and so they knew in advance, and thank you for keeping it secret. Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, May 13th, 2022. I'm Barry Cowan, the DBCC president since 2005. I will be host and presenter today. Assisting me will be our club vice president and resident tech expert, Carol Friedman, and Bob Gastisha, my good friend and mentor, and Steve Costello, former president of the Boca Raton Computer Society. As I posted on our club site, I have a special announcement to make before my presentation. Take a deep breath, and here it is. First, a bit of history. Due to the emerging and active COVID-19 pandemic, our board voted to shut down the club on Friday, March 13th, 2020. During the shutdown in April and May, we explored ways to keep the club alive. We asked ourselves, how can we continue to educate, entertain, and retain our club members under these challenging conditions? During our research, we investigated what was quickly becoming a highly popular video conferencing program called Zoom. Zoom was ideal for our purposes because members could join a meeting from the comfort of their own home, anywhere, any place, with any internet-capable device. The board decided to resume our class schedule with Zoom at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday, June 12th, 2020. From that date to today, we have held 38 meetings, I'm not sure, 38 or 39, many of which have been bi-weekly except for holidays. A great deal of time and energy goes into giving a presentation. I'm sure Carol can tell you that, and I'm sure Bob can tell you that. Over time, it can become a highly stressful event, both personally and professionally. We all need to recharge our physical and mental batteries to stay healthy. In a nutshell, the board unanimously voted to suspend all Zoom meetings until the fall. This will give everyone time to recharge their physical and mental batteries. This is exactly what we did with live classes when we ended the season in mid-April and resumed classes in October or November. I will be sending a special email on this summer break decision to everyone. And for CVE residents, you will see an article submitted in the June 22 CVE Reporter. After this presentation, I will have a brief Q&A session, so please use the chat board to post questions and comments. I know it caught a lot of you by surprise, but I think this is the right thing to do. Number one, because I have been stressed out a great deal. I've done 40 of these 39 meetings or whatever. I've been the host for every one. I haven't missed one. And even in some cases when I wasn't the presenter, it's still a challenge for anyone to research what you need to do and then keep your regular life, personal life going, as well as your professional life. So I've decided to simply slow down and relax under the circumstances and reduce my stress. And we are going to take a break. For those of you who just joined, we're going to be on summer break effective today, and we will be returning on in the fall, hopefully. We just can't give you a date of what's going to transpire over these next few months. But I will keep you updated via the website. We'll still stay alive, and that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, put them into the chat box at this time. If not, I'd like to go on with a little presentation today that I put together called Getting the Most Out of Your iPhone. I know many of you are Apple users, and Google just made an announcement the other day during their I/O event. The CEO, Sundar Pichai, presented a whole bunch of new Google products, Android products, and they were touting the privacy that's now in them. And I laughed when I heard that, because Apple has been doing the exact same thing for many, many months. And I believe you'll see in a few moments why it's the most secure of the devices. So if you have any questions, use the raise your hand icon or the chat board. And here we go. I'm going to start my screen share in a moment. Give me a second here to get this settled. And we should be going. Okay. You should all be seeing this now.
We are.
Good. Let me pull this thing down more. Yeah, that's better. We're going to be going over a few things today, and I'm going to be going very slowly. Some of this will be a review, but it's something that everybody should know who owns an iPhone, especially, or an iPad. I was telling Bob earlier in the meeting that I asked someone the other day, I said, what type of computer you have? He says, oh, I have a mini. I said, oh, is it a desktop or something? He said, no. And he pulled out his iPhone out of his pocket and he said, that's my computer. His wife carries around an iPad all the time. I said, I can't put that in my pocket or a purse, but she uses that exclusively. And I think Ron and Mary Louise do the same thing. So if you took a survey today and you asked a lot of seniors, what is it that you're really using? They're using a phone or a tablet for communication, for connection. That's what everybody seems to be using and will continue to use. And statistics show more seniors are using the internet than ever before, even pre-pandemic. So let me go on. Can you all see this little blue thing here? I'm going to have to be ambidextrous here. I have to use this to point to it, and I'm going to be using a stylus as we go along. So let's start right here at the beginning, and you can follow me along. We're going to go to Settings, and we're going to tap on General, and we're going to tap on About. Now there's the name of the phone. You can change that to any name that you want, but there's the software version 15.4.1. You should have the latest version of your software for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's security, because when you get an update from Apple or Android or whatever it might be, it contains security information that protects your phone from outside malware. So I would investigate, and I would definitely do that first before anything else. We also have something interesting called iPhone storage. Here, it shows me everything that I've got. I have a 256 gigabyte iPhone. I went for the highest version of memory because that allows me to store videos, which take up an awful lot of space. And here it shows me I've been using a lot of music, and my Gmail is pretty large. My Amazon Music is pretty large, and I've still got tons of space left. As I showed you, I've got 46.5 gigabytes left after all of this stuff. And so when you press there, it will tell you what the app size is, how much the documents and data are stored for that, and will allow you to offload it, which is a way to free up storage. And the documents and data are kept intact, and you can reinstall the app and place it right back in your data if the app is still available in the App Store. Now, another thing it does, when you look at this, it tells you the size. Okay, and I've got a lot of stuff here. I've got 170 apps, I think, or something. And that is absolutely the truth. Sorry for the pun. Okay, next thing we're going to do, look at display and brightness. This is dark. and this is light. Now, you don't want to read that during the day or in the night. I just go to dark mode and I leave it set on automatic, leave it dark until sunrise. And as I scroll down, you'll see something called auto lock. If the auto lock if you have it in low power mode, the auto lock won't work. But if you don't have it in auto lock, you can set it for never, which means that it will never turn off. So if your phone is constantly on, it's going to use battery. Or you can set it for 30 seconds, in which case it will turn off and make the phone grow dark when you least expect it. So you can pick a time anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes or never. For this presentation, I put it on never because if I lose my screen, if the screen shuts off, then I have to go in and reshare the entire thing again. So that's an important sign. You can set your text size by just moving it over. You can see it adjust if you need it larger. I keep it at about medium for me. And there, leave raise to wake off, because if you put it on every time you raise the phone, it's going to wake it up and stuff like that. That's good for a watch, but not for a smartphone. Bold text is good to have. All right. Let's see what else we have here. We don't have exposure notifications set in Florida because they're not allowed. But here's the big one, the battery. Why would you do anything except a battery is the most important thing to look for when you're buying something? I don't care what device it is. I want to know how good the battery is. When I bought this iPhone 13 Pro Max, it has the largest battery around, and it is proven to be the best that I've had in a long, long time. And I've been an Apple user for way back before I had the iPhone 5 for a while. And so you can see where you're charged. It shows you all the things, how long I've had them on the screen. I've been using an app that I'm going to show you in a little while a lot. And if I click show activity, it actually shows me how many minutes. So you can see exactly what you've been doing. And the important thing about battery life is that it varies with the apps that you're using. Once you turn on low power mode, it goes up to about 80%. And here's what it says: low power mode temporarily reduces background activity like downloads and mail fetch until you can fully charge your phone. The iPhone contains I believe it's not a disposable battery. You can't take it out, by yourself. You could, but it's very difficult. And now Apple has recently allowed you to take out your own battery if you can get the tools and everything else, which is not a good idea if you're not a great technician. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'm going to turn that off right now. This is the big one, privacy. One of the biggest complaints of companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft is that you were being tracked. Your privacy was in danger. Well, I believe that's true. And there is a tracking thing here. Allow apps to request to track. That should be turned off. If it's on the green, it's turned on. Just move it to the left, to this side, and believe me, turn that off. You don't need it. That's direct. Now we have location services also. I have that turned off. And you can set your location. I don't want anybody particularly to know where I am. Uh, but you can set that up and you can actually share your location with family members. So if they're going out, especially if Bev was going out in the old days, I would know, and she would know on our phones that the location services were on where we actually were. And you can set a location alert under those circumstances to show a map. So it says where the other party actually is. And these are the ones that ask, and you can set them individually, which ones you want your location shared. The important thing is Find My. Find My enables you to find your phone. If somebody steals it or you lose it or misplace it, it enables you to go into your computer, to iCloud actually, and track it and see exactly where it is. In one case, someone stole an iPhone and I had the tracking service on. I called Apple to disconnect the phones and to disconnect it. And that's what they do when there's a massive theft in the Apple stores. Someone stole maybe 100 iPhones one day. And so the store immediately disconnected them, made them invalid to use. And that way, it became much safer for everyone to use that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Oh boy. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that we really don't need to cover at this point. Let's see what we've got here. Safari's interesting. That's Apple's default browser. You have to distinguish between a browser and a search engine. They're two different things. And here's the search engine I use is DuckDuckGo. That's a pretty private engine, wouldn't you say, Bob? I think so. And there's a whole bunch of things that Apple put in that you can use that I don't want to go through because it's very exhaustive. Here's an interesting app. It's called Weather. The one that comes default with Apple is this one. There's Coconut Creek right now. Oh, it's kind of nice. It gives you information on the forecast, the air quality. You can see a map. You can press this to see the temperature and everything in. You can go by precipitation to show you where the precipitation is in the area. That's fine. But I found something that's even better. And it's called AccuWeather, and it's free. For example, it's now showing me, okay, I am allowing it once. And there you can see the temperature is 79 degrees here in Deerfield, where you are. Today's details show the sunrise and sunset, the current conditions, the real feel of it, called the temperature humidity index, the THI, the real feel shade, the wind is southeast at 2 miles an hour, your maximum wind gust, your ultraviolet index, which is extremely important if you're going to get a tan or go out there at the beach right now. Humidity is 69%, and the indoor humidity is high. So seeing more, we click that. Now we get down to an even fine tuning to dew point, pressure in inches, the barometer like that, the cloud cover, 36%. The visibility is 10 miles. That's pretty good for aircraft. And the cloud ceiling, here's the history as well. Well, going back, we can get the current air quality. This is extremely important for people who have allergies. A lot of people in our family are sneezing now because of allergies, allergic to pollens, trees, dust. I used to have that when I was a kid. So it shows you the allergy outlook. The tree pollen is high, ragweed pollen is low, mold is high, grass pollen is low, and dust and dander is very high. Oh, you want to see more? There is something called a pollen index, which divides things into extreme, very high, high, moderate, and low. So you can actually see, let me get my glasses on here so I can see something. You can move over to ragweed pollen and it shows you by a chart exactly how serious it is day by day. There's grass pollen and dust and dander. I think that's a very helpful thing that everybody wants to know. Now, how about hourly, what's going on? Here, you can see what's going on by the hour. You can actually see the amount of precipitation. That's going to be not much, 0.02. That's more like a drizzle. But 11 a.m., we're expecting something today, a 58% chance. And as we scroll down, it takes you into the next day. This is hourly. You can then scroll up or go to daily. Now it shows you what's going on day, night, tonight, for example, and it's clear as a bell. You can see the screen with all that information on it. Okay. Don't you think that's a great app? I think it is too. I have so many apps here that I really have trouble figuring out which ones. Here's another one that I use constantly. It's called Apple Support, and you should have that installed. I don't know if it's installed automatically or not, but you should go up to Apple and get that, because Apple Support tells you about all your devices that you have and how you get support for them. Repairs and physical damage. For example, it shows you what to do if you have a cracked screen. You need battery service. The back of the phone is damaged. The screen or display quality is affected. You have liquid or water damage. You need cables, headphones, and adapters. You can't power it on at all. The camera's not working, and both the front and back are damaged. This gives you an idea. For example, what do you do for a cracked screen? It says finding your best options, bring it in for repair. Now, Apple recently has allowed you to use a third-party system store to do your repairs. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Apple Store, and it can be very expensive. Look at that, $329. Pretty expensive, I think.
Barry,
Yeah.
I can highly recommend You Break, I Fix.
Oh, yeah, we have stores like that here.
Yep. Now they're soon going to be changing their name to the company name itself, but you'll still always find it under You Break, I Fix.
Great.
I had service done. Mine wasn't an iPhone, it was an Android phone. And I can tell you they did an excellent job. They fixed the problem. I got lucky. I didn't even have to pay for it because it was just a matter of dirt having accumulated in the wrong place that I couldn't dislodge. But they
Right.
work on more than just Android, iPhones, computers, Apple, or Windows. So, and they do an excellent job.
That's right, Bob. And there's another place called Techie, Techy. I found it in the Walmarts, and they're another great organization because Walmart is everywhere, and they have a Techie store in there where you can bring things, for example, to have these things fixed or have something put on your screen. You should have a screen protector on your screen and a very good, reliable, sturdy phone cover. or tablet cover. Because when you drop those things, believe me, a screen can crack no matter what they say very quickly. So what they do is they put mirror glass on the screen, and that enables you to protect the surface of your phone or your tablet. And now battery service. Run a quick check to see if the health of your battery. You'll also get performance tips based on your settings and more help if you need service. Well, we looked at the battery and it showed I had 100%, which means even after a year that I've had it, it's remained fully charged, because as a um, lithium ion battery has a memory. You don't want to charge it up to 100% and leave it that way all night, because if you do, it will burn out, start to affect the battery each time you do that. If you put it on low power, after it reaches 80%, you will get a message on the screen that says low power turned off after it reaches 80%. Let it go down to about 30 or 40% and then charge it all the way up. Does that make sense, Bob? You're muted.
The recommended setting is 20 for the low and 80 for the high.
Okay, great.
That's also when it does its quickest charge, is between 20 and 80.
Now, if you're going to be bringing your phone in or trading it in, we mentioned in a class that I did last year called repurposing your iPhone. You have a SIM card in there. And if you take the SIM card out and you put it into a different phone, you could be on the network, for that particular phone, a T-Mobile or wherever. But the old iPhone, for example, if you have a SIM card in the one that makes and receives calls, and you have another one that doesn't have a SIM card in it, that phone can still be a second phone as long as it has wireless in it. So you actually have two phones, one that makes and receives calls, and the other one that does everything else as long as it's connected to a wireless network. That's what I'm using right now to watch Beverly. As I'm doing this presentation, I have the camera set on her so I can see if she goes anywhere, and I see the aid has just come in. Now, if you look through this list, when you try to sell a phone, this is what they check for. When they mean what condition is the phone in? Is it excellent? Is it good? Is it fair? Or forget about it? Because some phones are so old, you're not going to get anything for them. But that's a good guide. Now, here is subscriptions and purchases. If you have a subscription, this will tell you how to find a suspicious email, text, or phone call. Apple shows you phishing is an attempt to get someone to provide personal or security details, such as payment information or passwords. Did you provide any Apple ID account or security details? If you did, you say yes, and then it will tell you what to do about it. If you spent money and you want to request a refund for some reason, you can make a refund request online. You can check the refund status. Accidental purchases. Some kids will make an accidental purchase on their parents' account, and they wind up with a big bill for family. All right.
It's called accidentally on purpose.
Yeah, you got it. Passwords and security are extremely important. With this, how do you reset your Apple ID password? What if it's disabled? What if you've forgotten your passcode or disabled device? And what if your activation lock is on? Normally, they want that off if you're going to sell a phone, because it prevents it from being used. It gets it tied to the activation of the company that is the provider. So let's see. What if I forgot my passcode? What are my best options? You can use a computer to reset it, or if you forgot your screen time passcode, if you have that enabled, you can do that. So if you use a computer to reset the password, what do? If you enter the wrong password on your iPhone lock screen too many times, an alert lets you know that your phone is disabled. If you can't remember your passcode when you try again, you can use your computer to put your iPhone in recovery mode. Recovery mode allows you to erase the phone, giving you access to set it up again. But hopefully you've got a backup before you're going to do that. Make sure you have a computer. You turn off your phone. That's how you do it. I don't want to go through it all, but it's right there for you to read. Apple has this great thing, put it in recovery mode. Now, if you have a backup in iTunes or something, or some other place, that's very helpful. The word is, or the phrase always gives, he who has the last laugh probably didn't have a backup. So make sure that you back up everything, and there's ways to do it. There's update, backup, and restore. Remember, when you update your iOS, you're getting security updates along with it. And sometimes, if your backup is very large, it may slow down your phone for a little while. People complained last time when iOS 15.4 came in that their batteries were not they were slowing down and not keeping as big a charge as they used to be. The reason is when you have an iOS update that's large, it's the same thing as using your computer and restarting it. What that does is when you restart it, it reconfigures all of the operating system files in there. Where the iPhone's concerned, when you update it, and it's a large update, you're getting not only security updates, but application updates and everything else. It takes the phone time to get used to it. So it may slow down until the battery catches up with the update, the software update. And it tells you, if you want to update, you need to update, you get the latest version, tells you how to do it. If you see an error when you update your restore your phone, what do? If you have iOS update and restore errors, and here's a video. I'm not sure it's copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it for you. Backup and restore, here we go. How to back up and find the right backup method for you. Tells you about it, how to locate it, how to back it up with iCloud. Now your iCloud has just so much storage in it. You click learn more and it tells you how to back up your iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch. By the way, Apple discontinued the iPod, the old iPods the other day. They're gone for good. So people were buying them up by the tons, spending, what is it, $300, $400 or more to get the last ones in circulation. Remember those little iPods, with the music and everything? They're no longer being produced.
It's the only Apple product I own.
Oops. So you're out of luck, kid. Or you can buy them from Amazon, I think.
Oh,
But
I
they're,
have one. I have
yeah.
one. It's the only Apple product I own.
Oh, great. How old is it?
Many, many, many years old.
Eons, right.
Yup. Been around for a very long time.
Okay, and this important thing tells you the difference between an iCloud backup and backups you make using your computer. All right, let's go back. And now using iCloud is important, excuse me. It backs up everything. And here's an important one. If you forgot your Apple ID and password, how do you get it back? How do you get it back? And that's why you should keep FaceTime. If you have, not FaceTime, but Face ID. If you have Face ID, you should enable it on your phone. It works extremely well. I can't show it to you, But if I went into an app and using Face ID, it opens it even immediately, and it's the information is encrypted. So Apple's very good at doing encryption, as you can find out from all of these examples where law enforcement was trying to get information from Apple on certain crimes and whatever to assist in investigations. They just wouldn't give it up. Wouldn't give it up. And in some cases, it's embedded into the phone itself, and it takes a very highly technical person to even get it. So you're very protected. Here's more, showing you all the other stuff you got. Great. I think that's great. And here's the things I own, believe it or not. I've got an Apple Watch 4 right on my wrist. I've got my iPad 10.2, which is from 2019. I've got an iPhone 11 from 3 years back, which is what I'm using now as my backup phone. It's simply wireless. I've got an Apple TV in the bedroom, and I've got my old iPhone 6 Plus, which I don't think is good anymore. I've got my old iPad Mini 2 and iPad Mini. So would you say I'm a hoarder? Yes. A lot of these things don't have any value anymore. They're good as doorstops, but someone just offered me $6 for an iPad Mini. I said, you know what, just take it. And once you do take it, once you do give it away, you want to deregister it from the product list so that, you know, that, and of course, before you give anything to a library or donate it, you have to wipe it out completely. So it's like it was brand new, so to speak, you know, when you were setting it up. That way, all of your data is out of there, and the other person doesn't have a hell of a time trying to get your name off of all of the programs on the device. We've known a lot of people have had that problem. Okay, Apple also has built-in tips. So if you want to find out what's the latest thing, there's Apple Maps. Now you can see what it does. It's showing you a little tour here. Take a look around, explore new places, enter an address. Google has a lot of this stuff too, let's face it. When they say they're, you know, it's called licensing. That's what it is. It's really theft, but it's a legal kind of theft because you're licensing all these features. So when somebody said I had it first and the other person's already had it, Apple was late in doing its map app. They had a lot of criticism about it. And then Google came out and really did a good job. And they still do. I got to say that. Plan an adventure. Shows you how to do it. Runs you straight through it. And these are all tips that are completely free. Now, what's new in iOS 15? You can unlock a phone while wearing a mask. And it works. My Face ID was up. You enter your passcode. Make it a 6-digit passcode rather than 4. And then you set it up to unlock. You put your mask on, and as soon as you look at the screen, and it works, I'm not going to wear a mask to do it because I can't do that at this point, but it works, trust me. And then get to know your iPhone. There's Face ID. Swipe up from the bottom edge to go to the home screen. Now it depends on whether you have a earlier phone. You might have a button there. You know, we call it the belly button. And it might be a little different how you get to that screen. You can open your control center. You can do that on the iPhone by swiping from the right-hand corner down. That will bring you to the control center with all of these things where you can change your screen brightness, control audio. Right now, I'm controlling this right here. What's enabling this to be seen and shared on the screen is called screen mirroring. Now, you may even have that in your TV called a AirPlay for Apple. And what's it called? Chromecast or casting for Android, right? You can do the same thing. You can cast right from your device to your TV. Very, very
Chrome-
convenient.
Chromecast, and also Microsoft has a device that does the same thing.
Okay, great. And here's Siri, our old friend Siri. Silence calls and notifications shows you how to do that. It's called, you can set do not disturb on. Here is the fastest way to pay. They now have Apple Pay. So you don't even have to use cash anymore. You just hold your phone right over the scan thing and you can pay right there. Starbucks uses that. Now, here's some essential features. Add a recovery contact. You choose someone you trust to help you regain access to your account when you forget your password or device passcode and must be at least 13 years old and have an Apple device. Well, a lot of tech support kids are 5 years old. So what do you do with that? Or infants probably have them in the crib. I saw somebody the other day who had they're in tech support and their children in the crib had a keyboard and all kinds of devices. They're already grooming them to be the next tech supports. Forget us, we're obsolete. And the important thing about recovery contact is for digital reasons. If you die, somebody's got to take over for you. That person has to know every password that you use to every account, whether it be financial or otherwise, in order to be able to get in and, for example, take care of your Facebook or your social media. We had a big class on that given by Judy Talor on what happens after you die, how to run your digital life. You also needed to phone a friend, get help. Let them know who is the recovery so that they can get the information for themselves, God forbid, if something happens to you. These are some genius picks. In Safari, you can swipe left or right on the address bar to switch between tabs, or swipe up to see your open tabs. And if you got an Apple Watch, a lot of us have, get to know your watch. If you have the what's new, the latest one in 8, I still got a 4, but it loaded the things in 8. All right. You can customize Apple Watch. You can look at your health. That's private, so I'm leaving that off. Accessibility is extremely important. How do you make the phone work for you in accessibility? Let's take a look. You can adjust the text size. You can play calming background sounds, which I've turned off. You can do tasks with a back tap. You can magnify objects near you by setting a magnifier into the control center. It'll tell you how to do that. Going to settings, and it will recognize sounds when it detects them. There is an app called Shazam, which is the best app for sounds. If wherever you are, if Shazam is on, it will tell you what's playing. If you ask Siri what's playing or Google, it will tell you the name of the artist. It will tell you the name of the song. It will tell you information about the song. But Shazam has to be enabled, and you'll find it in your settings. Okay. Photography. How do you take your best shot? There's 14 tips here that will show you how to do it. And doing more with Siri. This looks like Google Lens or something, which is excellent. I know that the Geeks on Tour are in Italy right now, and I've seen some of their photos taken from their Google photo site. You should go to geeksontour.com. And a lot of those signs are in Italian. So you could point Google Lens at it, and as soon as it scans it, it will translate it into English for you. Is that accurate, Bob?
Yes, it is.
Yep. And I mean, that's a real godsend. Okay, if you really want to get sick, look at the stock market. I'm not going to take a look at it today. So Apple has a whole bunch of stuff here. Here's the App Store.
Barry,
Yes,
stock market may be bad. Bitcoins are a hell of a lot worse.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So now your App Store is a great supply for apps. You know how many app stores there are? There's one for Apple. Google has the Google Play Store. Microsoft has the Microsoft Store. And Chromebooks has their own store, right? For the
Right.
Chromebook.
Yep.
So you've got a plethora of things to do. Now, I showed you in another class that if you click on search, it will now show you anything that you purchased, the subscriptions you have. A lot of people wonder, where are my subscriptions? Well, I had an Apple one and I gave it up because I didn't need it anymore. I canceled my Apple Music subscription. I canceled my Apple TV subscription because I don't need it. I have everything, the free version on a lot of this stuff, you don't need to pay for anymore. Although I can tell you a lot of free is becoming fee. There's a big war right now on for streaming. Netflix, if you haven't heard, lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and the stock market, the stock crashed severely. And the reason was because they claimed that people were sharing illegally passwords, among other things. So they're going to be cracking down soon, folks, on people who share passwords by charging extra. So be prepared for a little increase. Netflix now increased to $16.74 a month. I had Netflix since it started, but that doesn't make any difference to them, believe me. Okay. And now an important thing. Once you get there, it says automatic updates. That means these are the things that are now ready for an update, and you should update them. And look how simple it is. I'll show you how fast it is. I'm going to click update all and watch what happens. They start to click, and this number will drop as the updates are in there. And what that does is updates it to the latest operating system, which may have privacy and security considerations. So I would advise you to keep your apps updated as well. In this case, it tells you what they've done. Made minor enhancements. Google Smart News has now added live coverage of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Get the latest news, a timeline of events, and other updates. Boy, I'll tell you something. When I feel bad about myself, I think about those poor people in Ukraine. They lost everything. They lost their homes. They lost their property. And in many cases, they lost their lives and family. And I cannot really feel sorry for myself. Even if I had nothing, they had next to nothing, and they're in a country where is under constant danger right now. So God bless Ukraine. I'm not political usually in a meeting, but I've got to say it. God bless those people in Ukraine. And that is there. Now we can go back to, let's go back to our main sites here. There's an interesting place called, let's see. No, that's paid for, but maybe you want it. If you install Tips and Tricks and you click read now, you can go to Apple's site and install Tips and Tricks. This comes out of England. I'm glad you'd like to hear that, Mike Reeves, if you're there. and it gives you all kinds of stuff, showing you a photo grid, for example, using guides to improve composition, um, shows you what you can get from the App Store, newest apps, and everything else. All right, let's go back to our main screen. What do I recommend, or what do you recommend? We're going to discuss for apps that you use all the time. Well, the clock's very important. I use my world clock because I call people all the time in different time zones. My cousin's in Panama, there's Ukraine. I haven't called them, but I'd like to know what time it is. And I could call Bob. If I put in Albuquerque, I would know what time it is, especially when we were doing a lot of guest speaker events. The times would vary. And some people flat out told me, I'm not going to get up that early in the morning to give you a presentation. And Bob, we know who they are. So
Mhm.
I had to, if you change it to 1 o'clock, that's fine. But then people said, I don't want 1 o'clock. I want the same time that we've always used, 10 to 11:30. That was the standard time that we used for live classes back in the Club Activity Center. And that's the time people became accustomed to. You also get an alarm here to sleep and wake you up. You can set that. It's moved to the health app, which I don't want to show at this time. There's a stopwatch. We can stop it there. Or if you're doing a lap, it shows you laps. If you're using if you're in a race or something and you want to check the number of laps you're going around, that's what you use. And you can reset it then to 0. We also have a timer. You can set the timer for as much time as you want. If you're doing an egg, you can set it for 3 minutes. And it's when the timer ends, it will say, I have it set to stop playing, or it will pick one of these things that I have. You can't hear it right now, but if I picked one, it would give you a sound letting you know that everything's done. People use the timer a great deal. It's very useful. All right, the next thing, of course, is, let's see, we've done the clock. We could also do shopping. One of my favorite shopping apps is called Flip. You can download it from the App Store. It's FLIPP. And what it does is you set it up. It's absolutely free. You put in your zip code here, and it tells you all the things that have come up in the circulars. For example, latest, it tells me what's in CVS pharmacy right in the circular. So I don't have to go into the store, Aldi's, Walgreens, Penny's. New this week from Publix, the big supermarket right next to us. Bravo, there's a Spanish supermarket. Family Dollar, which these stores are becoming extremely important in the pandemic. Publix in the supermarket, I don't know if you've looked at the prices recently, they're really high. So people are going to the dollar stores now, and you'll find a lot of the products stocked there at very decent prices.
But dollar stores aren't dollar stores anymore. They've also upped their
Buck
minimum.
25, yeah,
Yep.
but they're still good. They're still really good. There's Winn-Dixie, there's Target.
Mhm.
You can set it up for any stores you want. You can go A to Z, and they give you a whole list. You name it as a favorite, and it sets up. And for groceries, Publix, it tells you how long the sale lasts, and you just click on it. And now it shows you the ad that you would actually pick up in the store. So you can view it online. And if you have the actual site for the grocery store or the market or whatever it is, you can then see which items are on buy one, get one, which is what I look for all the time. Let's see what else I have. Oh gosh, so many I use all the time. Walmart is very good for me because I'm a Walmart subscription person. I'm a Walmart Plus. It costs $98 a year, and you can get things delivered right to your house at free of charge. You just spend $35 or more. They ship it and deliver it right to your door. And they have a scanner here. A lot of these um, places now have a scanner right here. That's a scanning. So if you click on it, it opens up a box, and then you go to a barcode and you type in the barcode, or just let it touch it, and it brings up the product actually that's in the store, and it tells you which aisle it's in. And on me, that's very convenient. All right. Everyone wants to know about the news. Well, I got a whole bunch of them here. Here's one for Microsoft called Start News. You'll also find Start in the Microsoft Edge, I believe it is, or the Microsoft interface, right, Bob?
Yeah, Edge is their default browser.
Yeah, Edge is their default browser. So you can get headlines here. And if you put in your local information, well, it didn't find it because I didn't really put in the local site. I can search locations, and I can enter, let's see if I can enter 33073. Comes in here to Pompano Beach, Florida. I click on that. Let's see what happens. I return, click on it. And now my local news comes up. Oh, all the news that makes us real happy. Another grab and go robbery. Wonderful. Police pepper spray. I'm telling you, that's why they call one of our stations, if it bleeds, it leads. And there's top news. Of course, the inmate serving life for murder.
There's a new tactic that they're using now.
What's that?
They set the stores on fire. The Target in Oakland Park was set on fire to have cover while they stole things. And then there was a restaurant that was set on fire after they burglarized it in Miami. So now they're setting fires after they do the robbery. And
Here's
the
another
things.
one I like called Smart News. Now, Smart News has been expanding. You'll get the ability to put in whatever areas you want: headlines, COVID, entertainment, US, politics, sports, world, business, tech. I like the tech thing. It says your iPhone has a hidden photo menu that unlocks stuff. Founder of Black Math Genius program. Elon Musk puts Twitter deal on hold. Wow, that's $44 billion on hold right now. NASA's pictures, a Samsung information. Of course, you have ads, but I don't see the reason to have to pay for all these subscriptions. Just because you got a few ads is fine. Just say never mind, and you still get to use it pretty well. And that's the way everything's going to be surviving, folks. You better look forward to it, because advertising is the way everyone's going to go to get money, whether it be Netflix or anything else. So I think I've covered a whole lot. I hope you've learned a lot from it. Oh, one more thing, Gas Buddy. You can click here to find gas. You enter your current location. For example, how much gas is gas right now where I live in Coconut Creek? $4.39 a gallon, $4.42. And they have gas spotters that belong to a gas buddy community, and they'll say if it's the wrong place or the right price. That's the average cost of gas. What is it where you live, Bob?
It's 419 where I live. I can walk to the place that has 419 gas because it's a grand opening of a new 7-Eleven.
Now, what they usually do is they wait for a Wawa. You know those markets, Wawa, which is an all-purpose gas station and market inside. And they wait and see what their prices are. Whenever a Wawa comes in, if their prices are lower, all of a sudden, all the places around them drop to the lower price, because that's big competition. Okay, so finally, we can use browsers.
Barry,
It's-
I have to leave.
Yes, Bob, thank you so much for your help. And God bless you and the family, and stay well. I'll keep in touch with you.
Will do. Bye-bye.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Put them up in the chat. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, where do you go to update accounts? Okay, Marcia, what do you mean by what type of account?
Okay, you were talking earlier about updating accounts, and you showed something to automatically update all different accounts.
Oh,
When I
you mean apps?
Well, I don't know. You have on your screen here a group of icons under the label accounts.
Yes.
But I thought you meant in our settings. So I guess you didn't mean in
No,
settings.
what I meant, what I showed was settings. And I think I know what you're talking about. Wait a minute, let me see. It was Apple. It was App Store. And then I went up here and then I hit my profile. And here it shows you what was purchased, notifications, personalized recommendations, updated recently. Is that what you're talking about?
I guess so. I thought it was something in your regular settings.
No,
for the
no,
phone.
no. It's in the, what you do is you go to your App Store and then you click on the profile of your picture and it will show you if you have any updated accounts. We've already done it in class. It will say maybe 8 or 10 or whatever it is, and you can update them individually or, you know, as one group. A very helpful tip.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
I found it now.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else have something to say? Okay, I'm going to de-share this. Okay. If you enjoyed the presentation, give me a sitting ovation.
I had a question that I posted in the chat.
Yes, go ahead, Steve.
How do you track an iPhone?
Oh, by location,
Okay, but how do you get to that?
location services.
Location services and
Hmm.
what is that on the general?
Yes.
I
I'm
have to
looking.
leave, Barry.
I don't see
Okay,
that.
Dorothy.
I'll see you
Thank you so much for your participation over I appreciate it very much, and we wish you
Okay.
continued best health.
again. We'll talk once in a while. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care
care.
of
Have a
yourself,
good summer.
and thanks again.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see location services.
It's under general.
Yep.
Wait a minute, let me see. No,
No,
it
I
isn't.
don't. It's
No, it's under privacy, I think.
Privacy.
Yeah, privacy.
Yeah.
Location services on the top. If you turn it on, it will show you all the places that are asking for you, and then tracking. You want to turn that tracking particular thing off.
I don't want to pay more.
I'm tracking.
I said it when I lean down, I think it's worse.
Yeah.
When we're leaning or when we're. when
Hold
we're-
it. Everybody, not everybody at once, please.
That they have straight pieces more. You're liable to, a mic bill offered, but related to what happened.
She's
Yeah.
on the phone with somebody. She needs to be muted.
Okay.
It was awful.
All right, hold on, folks. Oh, hi, Neil Fisher. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. We're about to wind down. We're about to wind down for the season a little early. I want to thank everybody for your loyal. Please mute yourself if you've got the background.
Let me bring it to the office.
Neil needs to mute.
Mute, Neil, mute. Okay, I want to thank everybody for your loyalty and support. It's been a pleasure doing all of these hostings. but I don't know if I sounded a little bit tired today, but I'm not. I've been energized by this group, by your support all these 17 years. And all I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're not, as the French say, au revoir is an expression which means literally goodbye, but it also means until we meet again. Someone needs to mute, please. Have we got anybody that's not muted? Okay. It means until we meet again. So who's doing that, please? Let me see. I'm going to mute somebody here. Can anybody see who that is? No.
Neil, I think.
Okay. Neil, keep it muted. Thank you. I'm going to mute him. There we go. So I don't know exactly when we'll return, but the website will be active. And I hope maybe to send out a few newsletters to everybody to keep you updated. If you live in Century Village, you have the reporter, the article will appear.
I wasn't thinking about that at this point.
I didn't really say
Uh-oh.
much goes over there and say, now what's what to do.
That was
Neil again, he's come on.
what she was talking about.
Need to mute everyone.
Are we off?
No, Barry, make me co-host and mute everyone.
Barry?
Barry, you muted yourself now.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be the president of this club, also to have participated in all these meetings. Remember, learning is a two-way process. It's not just what you've learned from me and from all of our quality guest speakers. It's what I've learned from you. I've learned that all of you have a lot to offer, could be good instructors on the floor or even through virtual means, and have a lot to contribute. And I look forward to your communicating with me. You can send an email during the break to president@db-cc.net. I may be setting up a special one of my 6 email boxes for that purpose. And you can also go visit the club site, and we will continue to update it as developments warrant. So there isn't much more to say except au revoir until we meet again. Say goodbye.
Have a great
Today.
summer, everybody.
Yes, everybody have a good summer.
Yes, everybody. God bless. Have a good summer.
Mostly be safe and healthy. That's what counts. And I will keep you informed of my situation. If it deteriorates, there may be some additional changes. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You'll find this posted tomorrow on our YouTube channel. To get up there, go up to your up onto the club site. You'll see a red YouTube button. And once you click on that, it will take you directly to my channel, which is called Musikmann, German for musician, which I am. And you can go ahead and look at all the videos we've done. I think it's 139 now, 140 since we started. That's, if you want to do something on a rainy day, look at all of our videos. Keep sharp. Let me tell you that the best medicine against dementia is to keep your skills sharp, your mental skills. Do puzzles.
Read.
Read extensively. Exercise. Eat responsibly. Don't over drink. I'm telling you these things because these are the things that we're using to try and control a variety of things here. And remember that they say if it's to be, it's up to me. Not up to anyone else. It's up to you to control what's going on in yourself. So much success in doing that. Keep in touch and see you soon.